If you've browsed gardening forums or watched popular YouTube channels, you've probably seen it. An intriguing method where a raised bed is filled with logs, branches, and woody debris instead of just soil. This technique, known as Hugelkultur, has captured the imagination of gardeners everywhere, promising a shortcut to lush, productive beds. Hugelkultur offers the allure of free bed filling, slow-release nutrients as the wood breaks down, and impressive water retention. A dream come true for budget-conscious or eco-minded gardeners hoping to maximize their harvests with minimal investment. But for many, the reality is less rosy. Soon after setting up, they're faced with yellowing leaves, stunted growth, and unpredictable moisture levels that make gardening more frustrating than fun. The hard work of hauling, stacking, and carefully layering wood often leads to disappointment, not the lush harvests and thriving plants that were promised in the beginning. The problem? It often comes down to a misunderstanding of how hugelkultur works in nature compared to what happens inside a boxed, contained raised bed. Logs buried in a contained bed can actually create a surprisingly hostile environment for plant roots, rather than the thriving ecosystem you might have hoped for when you started. In this video, we'll break down the science behind why logs in raised beds often backfire, and why the results can be so different from what you see in natural settings. We'll compare natural hugelkultur mounds to boxed raised beds, explore the crucial roles of oxygen and nitrogen in decomposition, and offer proven alternatives that actually work for most home gardeners. Let's set you up for gardening success, without falling into the common pitfalls that trip up so many well-intentioned growers. At the Joe Gardener Show, we believe in slow, proven, and reliable gardening, not viral shortcuts. Gardening is a partnership with nature, built on science and real-world results. Rushing to fill beds with trendy materials can lead to years of frustration. We advocate for stable, nutrient-rich soil from the start, even if it takes more time or investment. Our advice is grounded in research, expert consultation, and the experiences of seasoned gardeners. When a popular method causes problems, we dig into the science to help you make informed choices. Understanding the why behind gardening practices leads to more rewarding, resilient gardens. This evidence-based approach is how we'll examine the hugelkultur trend. Hugelkultur comes from the German mound culture and is inspired by the forest floor's natural cycles of growth, decay, and renewal. In the wild, the forest floor is a living, breathing system, constantly recycling organic matter. In nature, fallen logs decompose slowly, nourished by fungi, microbes, and moisture from the surrounding soil. The log's contact with native soil and open air allows for efficient breakdown and nutrient release, creating a rich, fertile environment for new life to thrive. Forest mounds are open systems. Oxygen and roots move freely, and decomposition is gradual. Roots from seedlings can reach deep into the earth, not just the log, drawing nutrients and water from a vast underground network. The forest's goal is long-term ecosystem health, not a quick vegetable harvest. When we put logs in a raised bed, we remove them from this complex supportive environment and place them in a much more limited space. The contained box lacks the soil life, oxygen, and root pathways of a forest. It's a closed system, missing the dynamic interactions that make the forest floor so productive. The result? A system that looks similar, but functions very differently. Understanding this difference is key to avoiding disappointment and creating a thriving garden that truly mimics nature's wisdom. Raised beds are closed systems. Logs inside are cut off from the native soil's microbial network. Oxygen is limited, especially deep in the bed, slowing decomposition and sometimes causing anaerobic, toxic conditions. After rain, waterlogged pockets can form, stalling breakdown and harming roots. For plants, logs become a barrier. Roots can't penetrate, so they're forced to spread shallowly. This limits stability and drought resistance, undermining the purpose of a deep bed. Instead of a fertile core, you get a dead zone that offers little value to vegetables. Logs decompose too slowly to benefit annual crops, taking up space that should be rich, root-accessible soil. The result: reduced bed depth, poor root growth, and stressed plants. The box changes everything. Burying fresh wood in a raised bed triggers nitrogen immobilization. Microbes use up available nitrogen to break down the high-carbon wood. These microbes outcompete plant roots, locking up nitrogen and causing yellow leaves and stunted growth. Fertilizing often doesn't help, as microbes keep grabbing the nitrogen first. University research warns against mixing uncomposted wood into soil for this reason. With large logs, this nitrogen deficit can last for years, leaving your plants starved. Your garden bed becomes a nutrient battleground, and your vegetables lose. This explains why many gardeners report constant fertilizing with poor results. The logs act as a long-term nutrient sink, not a source. For healthy plants, you need a soil that feeds them, not just the microbes. Avoid the nitrogen trap. Hugelkultur fans often claim that logs act as water sponges in raised beds, soaking up moisture and slowly releasing it to plants. But the reality in most raised beds is quite different from this popular belief. Logs actually absorb water very unevenly. Some sections remain bone dry, while others become completely waterlogged. This creates unpredictable moisture zones throughout the bed, making it hard to manage plant health. Plant roots can dry out or even rot, depending on exactly where they encounter the log. This inconsistency can stress plants and stunt their growth. Water stored deep inside the wood isn't easily accessible to plant roots growing above, especially during dry spells when plants need it most. The process of wicking water up from logs is slow and inefficient compared to healthy soil or compost, which can quickly absorb and release moisture as needed. A bed filled with logs disrupts the natural movement of water, often leading to dry spots, swampy pockets, and unpredictable growing conditions for your plants. Finished compost, by contrast, holds and releases water evenly, creating a true sponge for roots and supporting healthy, vigorous plant growth. Compost provides consistent moisture, excellent aeration, and steady nutrient availability, all of which are essential for thriving plants. For reliable water retention and healthy roots, skip the logs and fill your raised beds with quality compost and soil instead. Build a real sponge for your plants, not a patchwork of unpredictable wet and dry zones. So, what's the best way to fill a raised bed? Focus on a homogeneous, nutrient-rich, root-friendly mix. Ensure your bed has direct contact with native soil. Skip cardboard or fabric barriers. For deep beds, use aged leaf mold or composted wood chips as a stable, affordable base. The top 8-12 inches should be a 50-50 blend of high-quality compost and topsoil. This creates a fertile, well-drained root zone for vegetables. University research confirms the top layer's quality matters most for plant health. This layered approach is cost-effective and avoids the pitfalls of raw wood. Over time, the lower layers settle and improve, and you can top up with compost each season. The result: a productive, sustainable bed, ready for immediate planting. Build your garden on proven foundations, not shortcuts. If Hugelkultur in raised beds causes so many problems, why is it still popular? Social media favors quick, visually appealing hacks, like filling beds with free logs. The negative effects don't show up until the second season, long after the viral post. Failures are rarely shared publicly, while the initial success gets all the attention. The promise of saving money is powerful, especially with the high cost of soil. This combination of visual appeal, delayed problems, and economic incentive keeps the trend alive. But popularity doesn't equal effectiveness. That's why experienced gardeners must share evidence-based alternatives. Let's spread real solutions, not just viral ideas. Gardening thrives on shared experience, successes and failures alike. The Hugelkultur debate shows how valuable community knowledge is. Have you tried logs in your raised beds? Did you face issues or find a way that worked? Sharing your story, what you used, what grew, what didn't, helps others make informed choices. Let's create an open, honest dialogue to move beyond hype and build collective wisdom. Comment below with your experiences and advice for new gardeners. Together, we can offer a balanced perspective grounded in real results. Let's help each other grow better gardens, one honest story at a time.